Assalamu alaikum everyone, and today we are going to see what is volume. Woo! Okay, so today we're going to cover stuff like what is the volume, like what is it? You need to know what is it before using and calculating it. And we're going to see the units of volume and how to calculate the volume, because that's what we always do in math. So we need to know what is it first. Volume is a 3D quantity and it applies to 3D shapes. Volume will be also very important when we talk about science, because there will be stuff like density, which is mass per unit volume. You need to know that in chemistry, physics, and astronomy. The applications you will see later in future in my general chemistry, physics, and astronomy series, inshallah. But we will wait for that. Let's not go ahead of ourselves. So we saw what is it and its applications. Now let's look at the units. Wait, let me give a tick mark here. Now let's look at units. The units will be cubic units. So just like 2D shaped areas that has inches squared, meters squared, or miles squared as their area, the volume of a 3D shape would be cubic inches, cubic meters, or cubic miles. And also I have this book here. You will notice that I use this a lot these days. So let's go through some other dozen key points. Now we need to look at the key factor, which is the difference between the surface area in these 2D shape calculations and 3D shape calculations. So let me bring my scale here. Sorry, there will be some noises because some people are ringing the bell of my house, so you might hear some noises. So sorry for those noises if you hear any. So in a two-dimensional shape, we have a 2D quantity called an area and a 1D quantity called perimeter. And with 3D shapes, there is another type of area we call. So a 3D shape, as you can see here, okay, you might hear some noises because I think my little cousin sisters came. Just try to avoid it by now. I'll have music playing so you won't be able to see it. So a 3D shape has a 3D quantity called volume. That's what we are learning. But it also has a 2D quantity called surface area. It's the surface area, which is the surface of one surface, the area of one surface. So like in a cubic meter cube, one of its surface area would be meters cubed. So now that we know the units that it's used, let's see how to calculate it. Yeah, now we get to the fun stuff. Now how do we calculate it? Lucky you, we have formulas. So let's see formulas for things like a cube. or a rectangular prism. Some people call a rectangular prism a cuboid, which is also good, but we like to say rectangular prism here. So a rectangular prism and a cube both has the same formula. Area, length, and volume. So the formula is volume equals to area times length. The area would be the, area of one side of the shape. So it would be the surface area. The length is how much we extend it. And we like to write things in short form. So this can also be noted like this: volume equals to area of the surface, if you want a reminder, and length that is being extended. So a rectangular prism with the sides of the rectangle being 3 meters and 2 meters, both of them add up to 6 meters squared, and they extend up to, let's say, 4 meters, or actually 2 meters. So we plug in these 6 meters squared times 2 meters will be equal to the volume. Now basically what we do here is we first check the unit, which will be meters cubed in this one. Now we multiply the numbers, so we get 12 meters cubed, and that will be the volume. So this is the formula for a rectangular prism. Now let's see a triangular prism. I can draw it up here so you don't need to worry. A triangular prism would have precisely the same formula. We have to check the area, base times the height, 1/2 of the base times the height. So let's say the height is 5 miles, and let's say the base is 1 mile, and let's say the extend is 7 miles. So now don't confuse the base of the triangle from the base of the shape, which is the triangle itself. So when we talk about base, we talk about the triangle. So the area would be equal to 1/2. I forgot to write a half, so let's write that. 1/2 of 5 miles times 1 mile, and we get an area of 3 miles squared. Now the volume would equal to 3 miles squared times 7 miles, which would equal to 21 miles cubed. So the area would be 21 miles cubed. Now a cylinder. You might think this would be called a circular prism, but prisms are technically an extent of a polygon. Since a circle is not a polygon, the resulting shape wouldn't be a prism. So it has the same thing. So let's just move on to spheres. So I'm almost running out of time, so let's just see the formulas. We won't be looking at the examples just to save time, but you can, memorize them. So the formula would be volume equals, actually let me write it over this side so that I get more space. Volume equals to 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. So the radius of one part, cube that, and then multiply it by pi, and then multiply it by 4/3. Now let's look at a cone. I hope you have been enjoying ice cream cone. Its volume would be 1/3 of times the height of the triangle times pi times radius squared. So you should memorize these. Take your notes, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.